Hello, I'm Elaine Smith, the Artistic Director of the Clamour Theatre Company. We're holding these creative conversations with playwrights, with actors, with directors, so that you can find out more about Clamour Theatre and about the artists who work with us. Welcome to this edition of a Clamour Creative Conversation. Today we're talking with Katherine Vondy, a playwright selected for our 5th Annual Playwrights Retreat and whose play Winchester is going to be read on March 7th as part of Clay and Water 2023 at McCormick Hall in Penny Farms, Florida. Welcome, Kat. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be a part of the retreat.
Great. Well, it's really great to have you here. So why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, tell us, your bio and background, hobbies, anything that we might like to know, you want us to know.
Sure. So I grew up in Northern Virginia, pretty close to a town called Winchester, which is sort of relevant to this whole process. I currently live in Los Angeles. I moved here in the early 2000s to go to film school and was sort of working in entertainment for a while, but not really making a super huge steps forward in my film career. And so I'd done a lot of theater back in high school and college. And so I kind of returned to doing theater probably about 10 years ago, just to kind of be able to do something creative since I wasn't getting where I wanted to with film and television, and really just fell back into the whole theater scene, and am so excited with a lot of the projects that I'm working on now in theater. And I work with a company in Los Angeles called The Vagrancy right now, where we develop new plays every year. And this play, Winchester, is a play that was developed through that program with The Vagrancy. So yeah, I think that's kind of a snapshot of me.
So now let's talk a little bit about the play Winchester, without giving away any spoilers. What can you tell us?
So like I mentioned before, I grew up near a town called Winchester in Virginia, and there's also a Winchester, England. And I just kind of always had in my mind that it would be kind of cool to examine those two cities in connection with each other. And so when I visited a friend in England a couple of years ago, I made him go with me to Winchester, England, just so I could kind of check it out and see what it was like. And that was kind of the seeds of this play, Winchester. When I was writing it, I really wanted to have characters that were teenage girls in it, because I feel like a lot of the stories that we see that feature teenage girls don't really take them seriously, and they get very pigeonholed into being kind of fun, silly stories, or stories that are just for other teenage girls. And I think that the stories of teenage girls have a lot more universality to offer to us. And so I was really hoping with Winchester to write a play that made audiences consider the stories of teenage girls with the same seriousness that they look at stories with any other protagonists or any other characters.
Okay, good. So now tell me, why did you decide to apply to our retreat?
Well, I was really excited to apply because while I'm happy with the play where it is, I don't think it's quite at the place where it's ready for an actual production. And so I'm really excited for an opportunity to put some more work into it, get some more feedback on it, have other actors participate and see what they can make of it, just because I don't think it's quite at its final version yet. And in particular, one of the things that I'm hoping to work on is in the play with the medieval timeline. I do a very particular kind of imaginary dialect that incorporates some words from Old English. And so this is something that's kind of been a struggle throughout the whole play, is trying to make sure that when I'm doing this hybrid Old English, modern English language, that it is both understandable to the audience, but also gives us this sense of another time and another place. So that's a balance that I'm particularly excited to play around with, to make sure that it hits that happy balance between being understandable and also being a little bit weird and different.
Okay, good. Well, my next question was going to be, is there anything particular you want to get out of it? But you just answered that. So, and I think those are good goals. So now tell me if, do you have a favorite play of your own, whether you've had it produced or not?
So the play that I'm really anxious to get produced, that is, it's not exactly a favorite play in the terms of like, oh, I think this is the best play I've written, but I have a soft spot in my heart for it because it's the play that I wrote when I was first getting back into theater. And so it's a play called The Fermi Paradox. And it's a little bit of a task for a theater to produce because it's a little bit intensive in terms of what it requires from the set design, and it's got music and choreography, and it's a little bit of like a heavy hitter in terms of the production requirements. But it was the play that got me back into doing theater, and so I definitely am very fond of it. It's the story of an astronaut in outer space who's kind of grappling with his past, and it goes into some absurd flights of fancy that he has that involve like a bunch of dancing scientists from history, and it's kind of wacky, but you know, it's my child, I guess.
I guess, sure. No, that's good. Is it on the New Play Exchange?
It is on the New Play Exchange.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So, okay. So now tell me about 3 favorite plays that you may have seen or read by other authors and what you really like about them.
Sure. So my first play is sort of basic, and I was thinking like, oh, should I try to find something more inventive for my first play? But I've just got to be honest. And my favorite Shakespeare play is A Midsummer Night's Dream. I just love it very much. And it was the play that got me into Shakespeare. And I just am very drawn to the whole mixing of the fantasy world with the more grounded world. And I just think it's lovely. I can't explain anything more about it other than I just love that play. So that's one play. Sort of like connected to that, because that play did kind of inspire love of Shakespeare. I really love G. Hay Park's Peerless, which is a play that takes the story of Macbeth and sort of transposes it into a high school setting with super competitive high school students that are trying to get into college, and it's just super smart, and the references to Macbeth are delightful, and it's a lot of fun, but it's also very dark, and I think reveals a lot about what it's like to be a teenager in the world today. And then another play that I really love is Kim Rosenstock's 99 Ways to F a Swan. I don't know if I should curse or not, but I think we all know what the F stands for.
Right.
And that play has a couple different timelines that are working within it that are all in some way related to the myth of Leda and the Swan, like Leda, in mythology turning into a swan. And I really love plays that find ways to connect different parts of history. And this play really does that in a fun and poignant way. And I think that's also kind of, similar to what I'm trying to do with Winchester. Winchester is find these ways that we can connect the past with the present.
Good. Okay. More for the reading list. Always good. And is there a book that has been helpful to you in your development as a playwright?
Well, one book that I think about a lot, not just as a playwright, but kind of like as any creative project that I take on, there's a self-help book by Twyla Tharp called The Creative Habit, which I don't really read self-help, but we read this for a book club that I was in a long time ago. And one of the things that the book talked about that stuck with me is that the way that your ideas come together is influenced by like two primary things. And one of those things is the books that you read and like kind of the media that you expose yourself to. And the other is the people that you spend your time with and that you have in your circle. And I think that's something that's really helpful to remember in terms of kind of like curating what the life is around you, because what your life around you looks like is what's going to kind of determine the ideas that you have and the stories that you're telling. And so that is, it's just kind of something that it's made me more conscious of noticing how the things and people that I'm surrounding myself with are influencing what I'm writing or what I'm creating.
Good. Yeah, I've read that book. It's a good one. So that's great. So, okay, for our viewers, if you'd like to know more about Kat, you can look for her and her work on the New Play Exchange website at newplayexchange.org. And for more information on her, you can visit her website. You do have a website, right?
I do. It's just
okay.
www.katherinevondy.com.
Great. So, and if you'd like to attend the free reading of her play, Winchester, Winchester, on March 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern at McCormick Hall, you can make a reservation on Clamour's website, which is also the place to go for information on our other events. That's clamourtheatre.org. And you can find us on Facebook as Clamour Theatre Company. And we will post all of those URLs in the description below, so you don't have to scribble them down madly while you're listening to this. And if you'd like to see more interviews like this one, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. So Kat, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today, for letting us get to know something about you. We're really glad you've been able to join us for Clay and Water 2023, and we're really looking forward to the reading.
Oh, me too. Thanks for taking the time to chat with me.